through that book, I learned about Dan Kennedy, and then through him, I learned about marketing. And when I started to learn about marketing and persuasion, I was like, why isn't this what I was taught in school?
Right. But each and every time we're here, we sit downstairs by the couch, computer on, we have the computer up on the television, and we're able to research and learn and go through techniques and strategies and just things that, you know, when you can mastermind with someone or a group of people who have different experiences, different knowledge, points of view, you know, you name it, you pick up a lot of hidden gems. And so I don't know how we actually got on the subject of this, but I believe it was Saturday afternoon, before the concert.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Saturday. Yeah.
So Saturday, Mike starts, it was probably about 11 in the morning. Mike starts telling, I think it was just you and Hanny, or maybe was someone else there?
And Josh was there.
Oh yeah, and Josh. And starts talking to us about the education system. And, you know, obviously a lot of our kids now are being, you know, they're not in school, they're on Zoom meetings, which I can't stand. So I took my kid out of that because I don't like the fact that they're social engineering my children. And if any of you guys, by the way, if you guys did not watch Surveillance Capitalism, you should really take a look at that one. I know some of you guys talked about The Social Dilemma, which we watched last night together. There's a lot of propaganda in that one. So I don't necessarily, until I fully research it and who's actually the people behind it. There was too many oddities in that one that I thought it was a setup a little bit. But nevertheless, the Surveillance Capitalism. If you haven't watched that documentary, it is free on YouTube. You can find the link in here. It is really good. It's a Harvard professor, goes into just a lot of the things that are going on behind the scenes, the places that you don't see things happening, specifically on the internet using Google, the stuff that we're involved with, right? Google and Facebook and these social networks, and just the ability to manipulate what results you see to sell the data, which, by the way, we are in the business of selling data, okay? You guys are in the business of selling data. When you contract with a small business owner to get their phone to ring, you're simply selling the data from what you produced, right? Or if they fill out the form, this data set is what you sold to them, right? So being in tune and understanding the data business and how profitable it is, and also how unscrupulous it can be with how some companies really don't care so much about protecting your privacy, your children's privacy, and they're really just farming out all the data that they collect from you on a daily basis. Go ahead. What you're saying?
No.
Oh, I think it's no. Yeah. So I really want you guys, if you have not watched that, take the time to watch that after this live stream. And that is Surveillance Capitalism. We will drop a link for you as well after the stream if you can't find it in the group, but you should be able to find it on YouTube. Because it's a Harvard gal that kind of walks you through a lot of these things that are going on behind the scenes that I think you ought to be aware of, because really deep down, there's so much that we don't see on a daily basis that really runs the world. And it's really easy to stay stuck in your bubble of what's comfortable or what you know or what you were taught and not grow at all. And I think a lot of us, you know, I think for many of us, a big part of joining this group is about growth. That could be financial growth, right? That could be mental growth. That could be, you know, getting out of your comfort growth. But nevertheless, we want to make sure that the things that we're growing in as entrepreneurs, we're also passing along to you. So I asked Mike if he'd join me today on this live stream, because what he taught me on Saturday was a major eye opener, and we're going to talk about that for a moment, and then we'll move into some other tips and tactics and tricks and things like that we want to share with you on a meeting that we had today on a lead gen deal that we're working on together. And then after that, we're going to move into Q&A. We'll jump on. We'll let you guys get on, ask Mike any questions live. That will be on this Zoom. So the Q&A will be done only on the Zoom. You wait till we're to that Q&A section, and then we'll add you guys into the group. But for the meantime, I'm going to have everyone be on Facebook for the time being. So with that, Mike, why don't you kind of roll me into what you taught me and start from the top. Let me share the screen here too, because I'll let you get kind of And we've grab some stuff here. Hang tight. Let me hand this over to you. So
Well, you could still man that.
I can man this. Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa, maybe I can't. Shiv. There it goes. All right. Once you kick us off.
So I guess
How do we get started in this? I think we were probably talking about children and going to school and how like jazzy was
something like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I guess I'm just trying to think the best place to start. So I don't know, maybe you guys have had this experience. I did. Went to the schooling system. I went to high school like everyone did here, conveyor belt style, first grade, second grade, third grade. Went to college at UMass Amherst. And it wasn't really until I started to look into business, I read Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Work Week, that kind of opened my idea to like a different level of thinking rather than just, go to have a 9-to-5 job, do all that kind of stuff. And through that book, I learned about Dan Kennedy. And then through him, I learned about marketing. And when I started to learn about marketing and persuasion, I was like, why isn't this what I was taught in school? Right? It was more like, this is the real stuff. All the people that I was starting to come up the ranks in marketing, and all the people that were making all the money, they had these skills like sales and copywriting and marketing. And I was kind of like, why? And then I read, what's the book by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I remember being blown away by that, like interpersonal relationships. You'd think you would learn that, right, in school.
Right.
And I was like, why is all this stuff not taught in school? So it's kind of always like in the back of my head, why wasn't I taught that? Why didn't I learn that? And I started to do some research, and I've been an avid, like we know you are too. We both avidly watch documentaries, and I'm not sure how I found it, but there's a documentary. It's great if you guys watch it. It's called The Underground History Lesson, and it's with this guy. I don't know if they can see the screen or they're looking at me.
At least it's a screen.
Oh, it's a screen share. Okay. So his name was John Taylor Gatto. And if you Google or just go to YouTube, do The Underground History Lesson, it's done by him and it's a whole history. But I became really interested in John Taylor Gatto because he essentially was New York City Teacher of the Year, like several years in a row, was this amazing teacher, kept winning all these awards. He was taking kids from the inner city inside of New York City, kids that would usually kind of not do really well in life.
Right.
And they were starting to start businesses at 14. They were getting into Princeton. They were getting into Harvard. Really, they were becoming really special kids. And what he talks about is how all of a sudden he started to get all this kind of pushback from the schooling system.
Right.